Welcome to this preview piece of Slush in Helsinki. This is taking place next week from the 30th of November to the 1st of December. I'm delighted to say that we're bringing our C-Suite podcast to the event. We're partnering with Remote, one of the sponsors of the event. And I'm pleased to say that Job van der Voort, CEO and co-founder, joins me now. Nice to see you here today, Job.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem at all. Listen, I thought it'd be great just to get a little bit of a preview of Slush from your perspective. What do you know about the event? How have you experienced it in years past?
I mean, it's the best tech event there is. I think it's one of the few that is not actively boring to be at. It's actually really, really fun. And so that's my main impression. It's a fun place where fun people come together and are exciting tech companies. And I think that's why we are going, and that's why I think it's a great place to be.
So tell us a little bit about, from Remote's point of view, why did you decide to sponsor this event?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is that we want to be in touch with, the kind of companies that we want to be working with, right? And they are there. It's really as simple as that. I think we love to work with startups. We would love to work with bigger companies. And again, like, I genuinely think this is one of the most fun conferences to be at, and not just one of the, it's the funnest conference to be at. And so that one puts everybody in really good spirit. I think the spirit is always really, really high of everybody there. And two, that makes it very easy to connect with people. Besides the fact that, yeah, you can't go outside because it's so incredibly cold that you're happy to be inside in the conference center.
Now, the event is all about starters. It's all about founders. What about your personal story? As I mentioned at the top there, you're the founder of Remote, one of the co-founders. So tell us a little bit about how the idea was born, maybe.
Yeah. So, what we do at Remote, we make it possible for companies to hire and pay anybody anywhere. And in the company before this, where I was working at GitLab, we built a fully distributed team, and we saw the massive advantages that it has to hire the best people anywhere on the planet. But we did find that it was incredibly hard to actually hire and pay people. Finding people is really easy. If you say, oh, you can work from anywhere, you will find that literally tens of thousands of people will want to work for you. The problem is then, well, once you found the person that you want to hire, how do you make sure you can actually pay them in a way that works for them, that works for you as an employer? And so, believing that the future is going to bring more companies that are fully remote, that are distributed over multiple countries, we felt like there was a need to solve this problem. And so Marcelo, my best friend, and I, we decided, well, let's try to fix that. and so Remote was born like that in 2019, early 2019.
Yeah, brilliant story. And does that tie into Slush in any way? Are the conversations that you're trying to have there with these companies that are looking to expand globally or have expanded globally and are having some issues around global talent?
Yeah, I think the interesting thing is that when we look at modern startups, is that almost all of them start in the same way, which is, I'm just going to hire great people and I don't really care where they are. Or maybe I care which time zone they are, but I don't really specifically care whether they are near an office that I might or probably not have. Because, if you're starting out, you want to save money, you're not going to rent an expensive office. And so virtually all startups that we are aware of, they start out as distributed companies from day one. And beyond that, they start hiring people anywhere. And so they run into this problem. And so the audience is those companies, right? Like, they are already hiring. So it's not even, it's not like, oh, you're working with specific kind of companies. No, we're working with any company, because almost any kind of company needs the kind of help that we provide. And I think the interesting thing that we saw over the past years is that it's not just small companies, right? It's also very large companies going in the same direction.
Yeah, sure. And in terms of, as I said, the conversations that you're looking to have at Slush, are there any particular people that you and the team are looking to meet there?
No, I mean, any founders, I think we're always happy to meet. But in general, I think it's, we try to build tools that help everybody. I think one thing, we recently released a new talent platform called Remote Talent, and which allows you to find remote work. And so one of the fun things we get to do is to talk with people who either are looking to start working remotely or have recently started working remotely, which is always very transformative. So we always love to speak with those people. But in general, like I think at a conference like this, like one of the great occasions to like meet people from all over the world in person. And like I think that always makes us very happy.
Yeah, I guess you just never know where those conversations are going to go, do you? So just give me one final perspective then. As I said, this is a festival, an event focused around startups and creators and people like that. So you gave us a little bit of insight into how you started the company. How do you see yourself now? And can you believe how far you've come and what you still hope to achieve?
I don't know. I don't really stop often to think about it. But our company grew really, really fast. We grew from, zero or like this very small number of people to over 1,000 in about 2.5 years time. So I don't think I could ever have imagined that. And I for sure, I sometimes think back about, for example, the first time that we visited Slush when we were, I don't know, maybe a tenth of the size that we are now. And at the time, it already felt like I had this big, important company, and I definitely wouldn't wouldn't have guessed that would be where I was now. So I don't know. Let's see if you ask me this question again in a few years' time.
Yeah, let's come back to Slush in a couple of years and we'll ask you the question again. Well, listen, we're really excited to bring the C-Suite podcast to Slush, to be partnering with Remote and to interact with your team on your stand. So thanks very much for taking us through that today, Job.
Thanks, Ben.